here maybe several times and talk about some of the upcoming things. But the main thing that I would like everybody to know that the people who go to Carewell pay absolutely nothing.
That's right.
There are no fees at all, and anybody, and we'll give this invitation several times tonight as well. If you have a family member or you yourself are suffering from cancer, please contact the Carewell because it'll always be good. It really will.
We'd love to have them.
And that's the thing. You said that you're doing happy hours. I could probably do that.
Sure, great. You're most welcome.
What are some of the other things that you're doing that you're involved personally with, Bobbitt?
I do a lot of the sports related events. So as you said, we did the tennis fundraiser. We have a very active group that works on this time of the year. We're going to come up with a bicycle event, a cycling event. We have a cycling group that gets together, you know, both inspired by Lance Armstrong and later on because of friends who are related to our former president, Cory Aquino, we came up with the Cory for Carewell cycling group, and we ride several times a year for that.
And that's what
that's right.
Our bracelets are.
Yep.
Cory bracelets.
We've had several fun runs. We've had 3 fun runs this year already. And we're hoping to do a badminton event in the next couple of months. So lots of good sports-related stuff on the menu.
And so that's your focus then. Is there someone else in the? Are you the main driving force here, or do you have several people that are under you, or not under you, but that are working together with you?
In the beginning, you know, it was mostly just a few of us, family members and myself, when we were getting started. But you know, we've been fortunate. Every single person at Carewell is all the professionals are unpaid volunteers. So we started with myself and 2 volunteers. We now have 3 wellness instructors, 8 doctors, 5 regular office staff, and all these people come and help us do these projects, get everything off the ground.
I'm going to stop you right there because we're out of time for the first half.
Good.
Don't anybody go away, though, because we're going to be right back talking with Bobbitt and Marie, and I'm sure that you're finding this just as interesting as I am. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. I'm glad you didn't go anywhere because I'm really looking forward to this second half of the show. Bobbitt, we were talking about, you know, how you had helpers and it kind of grew from there. But before I go any farther, I'm going to ask you a very personal question.
Okay, I'm ready.
I've known a lot of Roberts, and I've heard them be called Bob and Bobby and things. I have never heard anybody called Bobbitt. Can I ask you how that came about? Is it a good story, or can we make up a story? Or?
You may ask.
But you're not going to answer it? Is that?
Well, that's my mom's fault. Like you, she thought there are a lot of Roberts. There are too many Roberts, so that's kind of not distinctive. So my dad said, well, it's okay, we'll call him Bobby or Robbie. Then my mom said, no, it's too common too. So she decided Bobbitt was a unique enough sounding name to give me as my nickname. Of course, someone in the U.S. has since made the name Bobbitt a little more popular, but we can't talk about that in this program. So
that was a family name. That's 30
right.
years ago now, I think.
Yeah,
I'll be darned. Yeah.
So there you go.
That had to do with medical things as well. Yeah. And Vinci saying, what was that? You know? But we'll talk about after. It was before you were born. You know, that was holy cow.
Oh yeah.
This is a family show, by the way, so we're not going to get too much into that.
No, we won't.
Getting back, no, it is. You know, when we talk about, when you hear the word cancer, it's an ugly word, isn't it? You know, when we hear it, it hits you right there. And I knew as my wife was progressing, the doctors, the cancer doctors, hate the disease, I guess. They hate it with a passion. They're not always as maybe loving or caring or whatever to the patient, but boy, they attack the disease with everything that they have. And they always seem very offended when they lose, you know, at the end. So it's one of those things that here you've got this guy fighting for you on the side of the medical side of it, but getting the human side and being able to smile and laugh and enjoy life to its fullest is a really important thing. And again, as we said in the beginning, creating that feeling increases the efficacy of the medical treatment as well. People who smile last longer than people who don't.
Yeah. There are actually studies that prove that point. Yes, you know, God bless them. The National Institutes of Health in the U.S. in 2008 came out with a landmark study called Cancer Care for the Whole Patient, where they proved with empirical evidence that providing psychosocial support is just as, if not even more important than providing the medical treatment needed to deal with the disease. Because creating a better sense of well-being, better quality of life, triggers certain physiological changes in us that enable us to actually respond better to the treatment. And at the very least, if you're feeling better, if the quality of life is there, you persist in your treatment, which increases your chances of recovering.
Exactly.
But in Carewell, has there been people who have hesitated to join? Like her, she was pushed by her sister.
Let's let Marie talk a bit about that.
Yeah, because I did not believe in support groups. So when my sister asked me to join Carewell, I said, they will not be able to give me financial support. It's only a support group to improve our quality of life. So, but she really was very insistent. So when I finally joined Carewell, that's when I realized you really need a support group. And several new members hesitated to have chemotherapy. And after talking to them, you know, we were able to convince them, and you know, they were able to go through chemotherapy without the drama of having a chemotherapy treatment, because it's really not as dramatic as what you see on TV. It's just an IV infusion, and not everybody gets the side effects, because we now have the medicines for nausea and, you know, all of those stuff. Like me, I was lucky enough not to have any side effects, just losing my hair, which I didn't.
My wife didn't have really. She didn't feel very particularly bad from the chemotherapy, but she lost her hair, of course.
Yeah,
but it grows back. You know,
yeah, it grows back, and I think I enjoyed my.
But she got to wear a lot of her old wigs that had gone out of style, you know, at the time.
And you know, and I think I like the attention. You know, family members come. Oh, no, you look good. Oh yeah.
Can I ask a question here? This is a hard one as well, maybe, because a lot of times we believe maybe, well, the family should be able to take care of this, but a support group can be much more powerful than the family sometimes can.
It is. Because my family was, you know, around me. They wanted to help me, but they didn't know what to do. And I wanted to talk to people who have gone through chemotherapy.
People in the same
and all
boat,
of this.
right?
Yes,
Yeah, right.
And you know, when I met them, actually I told them I'll just join the group for 5 minutes and I'll leave. It turned out that I was the last one who left Carewell because I was enjoying it so much, and the cancer survivors were not people who are thinking of their the cancer, but we talk about other things, and also the activities that the Carewell provided. It was really holistic. It's not just we have what do you call this, life coaching.
Life coaching.
Yes,
Okay.
we had Pilates, so that takes care of our physical side, and some
prayer
of our
support
prayers.
groups too.
Yes, we have the prayer support group, and even some of our members who have bone metastases, they cannot even join the other exercises, but with qigong, because we do it sitting down, they are able to join. Some are in wheelchairs, but they come regularly because I think it was able to help them accept.
And here's another question, maybe that might be another difficult one, but I think the answer is not difficult. But you're very spiritual in this, but you're not limited to one religion or anything along that side, right? I mean, we can be spiritual and we're all God's children, and we can be of any religion to be part of Carewell, right?
Yes, yes. It's not a religious thing. It's a spiritual thing, in however way you conceive that, whether you want to call it God, the universe, the force, well, whatever higher power you believe that's there, that is supporting our well-being in the ultimate sense, that's an integral part of helping us persist in the challenges that we face.
That's right, and that's where a group can spread that around, can it? It moves from one person to another, and it doesn't have anything to do with the religious side of it. It has to do with the spiritual side.
Sure, sure. And the other side of the coin of what Marie was speaking to, she was speaking, of course, as a person with the illness, but for those who are the caregivers, whether it's the spouse, the parent, or best friend, or even colleague, you need a place to go to, because what you are going through as a Carewell is immensely stressful. Sometimes it's worse because you feel unable to really help, aside from being there for your loved one. And you don't want to burden your loved one by telling them how scared you are, how sad you are, how anxious you are. So you also need your own group, your own safe place to go where you can unburden yourself, replenish yourself, and then you can be at your best when you are back taking care of the person you care for.
In the U.S., they started a thing called hospice, where people come in, and of course it's good for the patient because they're not in a hospital, they're convalescing at home. Usually it's a terminal case. But the biggest thing is they give the caregiver time to go to the market or to go out, and that's really important, of having some time to go to be separated from it, I think.
Carewell is not only for members, but for their loved ones too.
Yeah.
So Carewell also gives art classes to those who want to join, not only the members, but also the family members.
Here's another question for you from the standpoint of someone who didn't have the cancer but saw someone that did and it bothered them. I don't remember my wife being angry about it, but I certainly was. Do you find the same thing with the family members of the people here in the beginning? I mean,
yeah, I mean, I think part of the isolation experience is behind that is the question, why me, right? And often behind the why me are feelings of anger, like, I'm a good person, I don't hurt people, why of all the millions of people in the world, billions of people in the world, I'm the one who has to get cancer?
No, but I know what I mean is not the person who got the cancer, but the person's loved one.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, my wife had the cancer, she was not angry, but I was angry.
Ah, I see, I see.
And do you find that to be a, or was I just,
Is that part of
it's normal.
is that normal?
Yes,
Maybe family members the same way, that they're not angry at you, they're angry at
yes, yes.
whatever it is that caused it.
And sometimes you kind of think, hey, isn't there a quota or a statute of limitations?
Right,
I mean,
right.
for me, it was my mom, my dad, my wife, my father-in-law. It's like, hey, you know, pick someone else. It's their turn. So you can get pretty upset about that. Yeah.
Sure, sure, yeah. I mean, it's like, hey, wait a minute, you know, that enough's enough, you know, and having someone to talk to about that, like I said, a group must be a
And
really
we have
important thing.
professionals too. We have professional counselors, we have professional psychologists, psychiatrists even if that's necessary. But I don't know, Marie, don't you think usually just having the group there who knows
Yes.
what you're going through?
But you know, it's not usually what happens to our group is not sharing what you feel. It's more of the camaraderie.
Right.
And you know, sometimes when we tell stories, and you know, Bobbitt and the volunteers would hide inside their office because we were too loud. So you know, at the end of the day, everybody leaves Carewell smiling, and you know, we all just feel good. So
Well, I walked in on you guys the other day while you were having lunch, I
That's
think.
right.
You know,
Yes,
that's,
yes.
And I took him away from his lunch. I apologize for that. No, I can't think of something of a better thing to be doing, you know, especially for people to somehow alleviate some of that helplessness and hopelessness, I think is the
Yeah.
big thing.
And one thing we, you know, for speaking for the volunteers in particular, one thing we really learn through Marie, folks like her, and the other loved ones who we work with, I mean, just the invaluable lesson of not taking for granted what goes on in our lives. I mean,